Hey y'all, it's Sharon and I'm back to share another policing experience with you guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm a retired detective. I worked for 20 years for a southeastern city in the US, and I was also in the military. I'm sharing my experiences and perspectives in hopes of helping others in similar situations. And with that being said, I was traveling through the city I used to police in the other day, and I went to the area I used to police in, and I'm looking around and I see all this new construction, new buildings. It's looking really good. I go to another part of the city I used to police in, and everything looks the same as it did my first week in 1999. And I'm like, wow, I passed through this certain intersection and I remember like it was yesterday. That's the same intersection my sergeant called for all the new officers to meet. And back in 1999, like I said, I was new, and he called over the radio for everyone to meet. So I'm like, okay, I can get there. I had a map book because they had given us a map book. We didn't have GPS back then. I had my field manual. It was probably about this thick. Had every kind of scenario you could think of, and the criminal code. And so I'm driving and I'm like, I could find this, I could find this. I did glance at the map book, but I really didn't look at the map book, thinking, you know, military, and I have my experience with that and map reading and da-da-da. It took me 20 minutes to go 2 blocks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. 20 minutes to go 2 blocks. Me not listening or actually hearing the sergeant. When he gave the location, it was northwest and I was heading southwest. I eventually made it to the intersection, and then I had to wonder why. Like, why didn't I just ask for help over the radio? And I remember thinking that back then, sitting in roll call, and the sergeant said, call me if you need me. And if you call me, you better need me. Because they gave you this field manual with every possible scenario that you're supposed to find it. If you had that situation, find it and see what was done. So me, being a little arrogant and scared, I didn't ask for help. But the reason why I'm telling you this story, that particular intersection in 2022 was a landmark for me, or a pivotal point, if you will. And the reason why I say that is because as I drove through it, I had to smile to myself because I remember that my sergeant wanted me to meet. Here I am, a new officer, didn't want to ask for help. And I think back to that time, and it's a pivotal point because I could have shut down. I could have got scared. I could have been like, you know what, this policing thing is not for me. I'm just going to quit. But I kept going. I did end up meeting with the sergeant, and I persevered through it. So it's a landmark now because that intersection, every time I go through it, I think about that and I smile. And people, we go through similar things when we look back over our lives. And we tend to remember the good things or the great things, and then we remember the negative things, but we don't remember how we got through it, the pivotal point. So that's why I'm sharing with you today. We all have landmarks and pivotal points when we look back. We tend to remember the really good ones, you know, the keep you warm ones. And then the negative ones, we just remember the negativity and how hard it was. But think back to what got you through it. Whether it was the keep going, perseverance attitude, or somebody helped you out because you asked for help, somebody offered help, but you got through it. So it's a landmark and it's a pivotal point because at that time you could have given up and you didn't. And I just want to share that with you guys, And I'll share something else next week. But with that being said, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it, guys. Check out our online store. The link is in the description. I created some notebooks. They're only available on Amazon. The links for those are in the description. They go straight to Amazon, straight to the book in Amazon, so you don't have to look for it. All right? Talk to you guys next week. Bye.